What up, everybody? It is Mike in Midland. So, as I'm wrapping up my day, I just kind of wanted to give some tips and some pointers. I don't know if you've ever faced this, but if you ever face a day where emotions are high, the world is kind of seems like it could be going against you. You have a lot on your plate, a lot on your pressure. Anxiety is at the tipping point to where you're like, oh man, I'm about to lose it. You ever have kind of just one of those days or one of those weeks and those moments when you're on that very edge? There's something that I really do to kind of help me get through that. So there's three things that I do when my day is like that or my life is like that, and it really helps. And I promise you, if you try it, you will be impressed with yourself. The very first one is I learned how to surrender to my day. I surrender to God and who He is, and that He's in charge and He's in control. For someone like myself who is a control freak, to be able to surrender and realize that, man, I am not in control, that the only thing that I am in control of is my actions and my attitude and just how I'm going to carry myself throughout the day, that I am not in charge. But I also just surrender my plan to God, and I just tell Him, man, like, take over, show me what you want me to do in this life, in this day, and then I get a chance to be open and transparent with Him. There is no formal prayer thing that I do. I just talk to Him, whether it's in the car, on the way, after I get on my knees. But I physically have to do an active surrender and like hit a switch. So I get on my knees, and sometimes I have to do it a couple times in the day, just to be in a position of humility. The second thing I do is I get exercise, man. I got to get movement. I got to be able to process some things of what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking. But physical work always gets the job done, man. It allows you get an internal boost of ego. It helps you emotionally, mentally. It re-energizes you. So even when you don't feel like it, I get 30 minutes of exercise. And then the third thing I do is I process how the day went. So you can have a journal next to your side of your bed, yellow notepad, man, even the note section on your phone, and I just start writing down how my day went. And that is going to look like a lot of different things. It starts out to me as a journal of how the day went and what I really thought worked well with the day and so forth. And then it turns out to be a to-do list of all the things I still need to get done the next day. And then it might turn out to a list of things that I can do better. Like, hey, man, I don't like that I did this. These are some things I can do better. So it's just everything I like to get off of my chest, off of my mind, and I get it on paper or on some sort of device. So then I can go to sleep peacefully, calm, and I have a little bit more purpose and intentionality into my day the next day. And I know now, because I put it on paper, I know now that I can be better the next day. I let that go. But if I don't do those things, like if I don't surrender, if I don't get workout or exercise, and if I don't journal and write down my thoughts of how that day went and really how to process the day, what happens is I become an emotional hoarder, and that stuff just compounds one day on top of the other and just adds up until you feel like you're going to break and you don't know what to do. So those are my tips. When life is coming at you hard, man, do those three things. I promise you that you'll be satisfied.